So today's session, in this today's session, what we will do is we will continue with that. We will continue with our defect life cycle. What is defect life cycle, and also what I will do is today I will show you how to log a defect, and also what are all the different attributes we will use while logging the defect. I will talk about that today. Right? Probably right. We will try to complete our manual testing procedure. We will see that. See, in the last session we talked about that defect. Defect is nothing but it's a deviation from the requirement, and when you are executing your test cases, whenever your expected result is not matching with your actual results, then we will log it as a defect. To log the defects, we are having so many tools like Quality Center, Jira, Bugzilla, TFS. Different organizations will use different tools, and from our point of view, if you are using any tool, logging the defect will be same, only that attributes will be little different. So overall will be same. So this is what we discussed in the last session, like defect life cycle. So when you're logging a defect, and then you can assign. So when you're creating your defect, what you can do is you can assign that defect to your developer, and then developer, what he will do is he will see that whether that defect is genuine or not. If the defect is genuine, then immediately he will fix the defect. Then once the defect is fixed, then it will go to the testing team. So when I'm saying that fixing means, what do you mean by that? That means developer, what he will do is he will modify the code. He will modify the code, and then like what he will do is he will give us like 1 second please. One second. Okay. Fine. So, right, when you say that, right, defect means, right, what we will do is we will log a defect and it will go to the developer. Developer will see that whether this defect is genuine or not. If the defect is genuine, what they will do is they will fix the defect and it will come to the tester, and as a tester, what I will do is I will check that whether this defect is really fixed. If it is really fixed, I will close it. Otherwise, I can reopen the defect and then it will go to the developer once again, and then he will refix the defect again. This is the process. This is what we discussed in the last session. Now, if you want to log a defect, because right, I found one defect, because as right in the last session while executing our test cases, we found some defects. When I'm finding the defect, where to log the defect? Now I will log this defects. I will log this defects in the Excel. First, I will show you how to log the defects in the Excel sheet. I will talk about that different attributes we may use in any of the tool. If you go to any tool, probably right, you will be using the same attributes only. And also anyway, we are learning this quality center. So while learning this quality center, again, I will show you how to log the defects in your tools and all. Now, let me show you. Let me show you one of the defect template. So this is one of the defect template I wanted to show you guys. That means if you want to log a defect, and if you guys are using Excel, then you can use this kind of bug report. You can use this kind of template. Now, usually, right, if you're logging the defects in the tools, almost right, you will be seeing the same kind of attributes. Whatever I'm showing here, almost you will be seeing the same kind of attributes if you go to any tool. The tool can be X, Y, Z, whatever may be the tool. Now, right, first what I will do is I will talk about that each and every field and the importance of each and every field. Once we are done, then what we will do is we will be logging couple of defects based on our previous session test case execution. So what we will do is we will be logging the defects also. First, try to understand what is the importance of each and every field. Now, first thing, yeah, this is your serial number, like, or you can say that defect number. Then defect or title somewhere. That means now what is the defect all about, right? I will say that I'm getting some error message when I'm trying to log in with the valid details. So what you are doing is you are giving the summary of the defect. What is the defect all about? So that you can provide some summary here. You can provide some summary here. We will be logging that couple of defects in some time. And then steps to reproduce. This is very, very important. See, when you are logging any defect, make sure that you are giving each and every steps to reproduce the defect. That means, right, if you're simply saying that defect, right, developer may not understand. You have to provide each and every step to regenerate the defect. That is important. You have to provide the steps to reproduce that particular defect. Okay. So what I will do is I will be giving my steps to reproduce for that particular defect. Then assign to. That means to whom you are assigning this defect. I'm assigning to so and so developer. So you can assign to, right? You can write the name of that particular developer, or you can assign this defect to your developer. You can assign this defects to your test lead, and your test lead will reassign to that particular developer. So you can talk about that. You can say that assign to so and so person. That means I'm finding one defect and I want to assign this defect to so and so developer. Fine. And if you have any comments, you can talk about that comments, normal comments. Now, whenever if you're logging any defect, these two terminologies are very, very important. Priority and severity. These two terminologies are very, very important for any application. Any defect, any application defect. These two terminologies are very, very important. Priority and severity. What is priority and severity? I need to spend some time here because this is very important for any organization, any application, for any defect. These are important. I will talk about that first, like what is priority and what is severity. I will talk about that. So here, when I say that priority, right, priority is nothing but, right, priority is nothing but importance of the defect with respect to importance of the defect with respect to the functionality, or you can say that business. That means, right, whenever, right, if you're finding any defect, right, whenever if you're finding any defect, how this defect is impacting on my business, how it is impacting on my application, that is called your priority. That means, right, see, when you're finding any defect and how it is impacting my business, how it is impacting my application, that is called your priority. How it is impacting on the application is nothing but your priority. So priority is nothing but the importance of the defect with respect to the functionality, or you can say that application or your business. That is the definition. So if anyone is asking, right, simply what you can do is you can say that priority is nothing but importance with respect to functionality. Simple thing, right? Priority with respect to my functionality. Now when it comes to that severity is nothing but seriousness of the defect with respect to end user. That means, right, you are finding one defect. How this defect is impacting the end customer. How this defect is impacting the end customer is nothing but severity. If it is impacting more, then we will say that it is very high severity. That means, right, severity is nothing but seriousness of the defect with respect to the end user. how it is impacting my end customer. That is called your severity. Now you have to give me the examples, because right, when you go to that interviews, this is a very common question. Can you tell me examples for high priority, high severity, low priority, low severity? Okay, now you need to tell me the examples. High severity, low priority, low severity, high priority. Now you tell me, tell me tell me the examples for each and everything. Anyone can tell me what is the examples for your high priority and high severity? That means when you're finding some defect, it should impact your application, and also it should impact your end user also more. Anyone can tell me the example here? Any example here?
Password is not working.
Okay, fine. That's good. So you said that right, password is working. So what I will do is I will put in a different sentence. I'll say that so we will say that high priority, high severity is nothing but all the blockers or showstoppers. We will call it as blockers or showstoppers. Just now, right, you said that password is not working. That is called your blocker. That means you are not able to move further. It is blocking. So its functionality is not working. It's blocked. End user also is not able to move further. That means end user also is blocked. So all the blockers, showstoppers will comes under your high priority and severity, because it needs to be fixed as early as possible. It has to fix on the spot itself, because here blockers means you are not able to move further. That is called your high priority and severity. And also when you go to the interviews, right, people will ask, can you tell me that high priority and high severity defect with respect to your application, then that kind of situation, what you have to do is, whatever the example you told me, right, your password is not working, you have to tell in the interview. That means, right, I'm trying to work with my application. When I'm trying to log in with the valid details, it is not allowing. That means you are not able to move further. It's blocked. So I'll say that it's a high priority and high severity. So my general common thing is, right, common defect is, whenever if I'm finding any blockers on showstoppers, I will say that it is a high priority and high severity. Good. Next, low priority and low severity. That means with respect to business, okay, that is not that important. With respect to customer also, that is not that important. Right, so it should be low only. Any example? Low priority and logo is not low priority. Let me tell you one thing. You are running one business and you are having one logo. If your logo is not coming properly, will you agree? Just question. Will you agree? No one will agree, because it's my business. Logo is my business. Logo is my brand. Okay. So no one will agree on that. They will say that I want to fix that logo as early as possible, because that is my business. That is my brand. Right? And low priority and low severity. Just give me that example, right? If it is incorrect also, that is fine. Just we are learning what is there. Low priority and low severity. What else?
So any field is accepting, if it is all.
Yes, correct. It's a small UI issues. Let's say for example, alignment is not coming proper. And then when you are entering your values, right, if you're entering a long text, your text is going out of the text box. So these kind of things, small things. So these will consider as your low priority and low severity defects. That's why I said that. Simply I said that UI issues, user interface. That means cosmetic. Yes. So that's correct, Satish, right? You are saying that Satish saying that cursor is coming back to the field. Yes. Those are small issues, low priority and low severity, because it will not impact your customer. At the same time, it will not impact your application. So all your UI issues. Okay, now anyone can tell me low priority and high severity. That means for customer, I mean for the end user, it is not that important, but for business, it is very, very important. Anyone can tell me? Low severity and high priority. Lost, right? That's okay. Tell me. Tell me. What is that? Low priority, I mean low severity and high priority. This is logo. This is logo. That means, see, here, just imagine that like right now, I'm having, yeah, right, this is my business. This is my, say for example, right, I'm running my Google. When I'm running my Google business, right, when I'm running my Google business, just imagine that this Google is not coming properly. And like right here, right, some colors are changing here. Now, when the colors are changing as a customer, as an end user, I don't see that, right? If my, see, if my functionality is working, I'm good. If my functionality is working, like whatever the name you are changing, I don't care, right? I don't mind what is the colors you are using, what is the name you are using. I don't care, because Google will keep on change. Right? I don't care. But for this Google people, for this Google people, this is matters. This is their brand. This is their business. What they will do, right? If there is anything going wrong, any colors, even a simple color is changing, they will never agree, because that is the brand. They will never agree. So they will say that I want to fix that as early as possible. That's why I'll say that low priority, low severity and high priority. Is it clear? Now, anyone can tell me, with respect to business, like it is low priority, but with respect to end user, it is very, very important. Any guess? Yes, right. With respect to the end user, it should be very important, but with respect to your application, that is not that important. What kind of issues? What kind of issues? What kind of issues? See here, whenever, right, if you're not getting any error message, just imagine that, like, right, I'm working with one of the application, right? When I'm working with one of the application, right, when I'm working with any application, and then like, right, I'm working with that application, and then I'm not getting any error message. Just imagine that, like, you are trying to log in with some credentials, and then when you're trying to log in, you are not getting any error messages. Then how end user will know that what is happening, whether I enter the correct details or whether I enter the incorrect details? How end user will know? He cannot understand. So for end user point of view, it is very important to have your error messages. However, from the business point of view, yes, it is working as expected. Like if you're trying to log in with your invalid, so we are not allowing. So from the business point of view, from the application point of view, it is working correctly. But from the end user point of view, these error messages are very important to understand the application. Okay, this is the 4 examples. Any doubt here? Let me know. Any doubt here? Let me know. Is it clear? Okay.
Only the error message or some other examples there?
Error message is good. Like actually, right, why I'm telling this common examples means that if you go to your, like say for example, if you're going to an interview and people is asking, can you give me one example for high severity and low priority? Then you can say that actually I'm working with my application. When I'm working with that application, and here if user is entering this username and password like incorrect, when he's entering this invalid username and password, when you click on submit, then we are not showing any error messages. Instead of that, we are just, the page is refreshing. So this kind of situation, application is working as expected. It is functionality is correct, but we are not showing any message to the end user. Because of that, end user will not understand what is happening. So from the end user point of view, it is very important to fix that issue as early as possible. That's why I'll say that error message is simple thing. Okay, fine. So what you can do is, right, before going to the interview, whatever the application you are keeping in your resume, make sure that you are having one example for all the combination. High priority, high severity, one example. Low priority and low severity, one example. High priority and low severity, one example. High severity and low priority, one more example. Like this. So better to have one example for each combination. Okay. Fine. Let's go back here. So this is what like priority and severity. Simple term. Priority is nothing but with respect to application, and severity is nothing but with respect to your end customer. And then right, one more point, right, very important point. Whenever if you're creating any defect, whenever if you're logging any defect, make sure that you are attaching some screenshot, right? Screenshot is very important and screenshot is very mandatory for any defects, but very few defects may not require this screenshot, then you can ignore it. But most of the defects we will attach the screenshot. That is very important. When you attach the screenshot, then your developer can easily understand what is the issue all about. Okay, let me talk about that. So now here, right, now I want to log one defect. You remember, right, yesterday we were trying to search, right? When you're trying to search with your dates, you remember, like right now here what I will do, here I will enter my 10, and here what I will do is my to date I will enter 8. Click on search, right? Still I'm not getting any messages here. Let me take a different dates here. First, search. Okay, so here, right, what is happening is when you're trying to search with your dates where my from date is greater than to date, still I'm not getting any error messages, right? So this kind of situation, what you can do is you can take your screenshot and then attach that screenshot to your defect. That is important. I will show you how to create your screenshot, and then like, right, how to attach that screenshot to your defect. It's based on the tools, right? Tools will have a option called attach file. I will show you that in the tools how to attach it. However, if you want to attach in the Excel also, you can do that. I will show you both the things. Now, right, if you want to take any screenshot, what you have to do is, first, if you want to take this particular screen, use your function print screen in your laptop. You can see that function print screen, right? You can see that, right, print screen in your laptop. Go to paint. In the paint, you can create your screenshots. Now what I will do is I will cut the unnecessary thing. Click on this, select the required one, and remaining thing you can simply cut it. You can select the required one and remaining thing and all you can cut it. Okay, Control X, take a new one, Control V. Now here, right, what I am doing is, now I will mark it. I will mark each and everything. See here, I want the different color. Let me take the different color. Take this. I will mark here properly. And then I want to write something here. Then what you can do is you can also write that. You can write like this. Here, user can search with from date is greater than. See, that will not happen, right? Always from date should be equal or less than. From the greater than to date, like this. So you can write like this. You can write like this, so that, right, if you are sending. Now, right, now when you are sending this defect and if you are attaching the screenshot, anyone can easily understand what is this all about. That is the advantage of your screenshot. Now save wherever you want. Now I am saving in my desktop. I will show you how to attach. Okay, this is how to create your screenshot. That means, right, if you want to create any screenshot, take your print screen from your laptop. Once you are saying that print screen, then it will take your screenshot. Go to your paint and then paste it and do that necessary modifications and then save it. Then do the necessary changes and then you can save wherever you require. How to attach? I will show you that. This is how to take your screenshots. Okay, fine. Now status, yeah, initially that the status of your defect will be open, and once it is fixed, then the status will be fixed or resolved, and then you can retest it and you can close it or reopen it. Then date and all, right, if you want you can now like write when you found this defect, who found this defect. If you want you can talk about all those details. You can talk about that. Let me log a defects, couple of defects, how to log the defects. If you see yesterday, right, if you remember, like right, yesterday we were executing our test cases. When we were executing the test cases, you remember, like right here, system payments are not showing in the search results. That is the issue. Now what I will do, I will go to my bug tracking tool or Excel, whatever you want, you can use it. Now here also when you are logging the defect, use properly. Now I will say like this. So my project name, I'll say like this, my project name, and use properly. Okay, search. See that, right, whether you are able to understand the defect or not, because you have to use a simple language and anyone should be in a position to understand the defect even though they don't know the application. So what is my problem here? System payments, system payments are not showing in the search results. That means, right, when you're trying to search with your system payments, that means here when I selected my system payments, the results are not showing. That is the issue. Now what I will do, here I will write my steps. Okay, open the application, open the URL. You can give your URL, give each and every information. Give each and every information. Cyclos.com. So when you are giving this information, anyone should be in a position to understand. Open that position, login with valid username and password. Let me know if you are not able to understand. Okay, login with your valid username and password. Okay, click on account. You have to give the complete information. Click on account and account information. Okay, navigate to, see, you have to write a simple language, but it needs to be it should be clearly understandable. Information link. Click on this link, then right now create a system payment. That means what you will do here, I will go here, I'll be creating a system payment here. I will create a system payment and again I will come back to my account information and I will search with my system payment. See that whether your search is working or not. Create system payment by clicking account system payment by opening. Okay, Now you have to give each and every step. Okay, once it is created, once system payment is created successfully, navigate back to account 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 information link. Okay, account information link. Select system payment from the, what is the type, payment type drop down, payment type drop down, okay. Verify the search results. These are all the steps. Now actually my expected result is created system payment should appear in the search result. That is your expected. But what's happening? Actual result, created system payment is not appearing in the search results. See, if I send this, right, if I send this information, anyone will come back? See, I'm giving you like each and every step. Just go through these steps and let me know if you're not able to understand. Now I will give this, I will assign this defect to developer, and comments right now it's not required. Now if you want, you can also write like this is tested in QA environment. If you want, you can also write your comments. Now what is the priority for this? Anyone can tell me? What is the priority? What is the priority and what is the severity? Like how it is impacting your business, and then how it is impacting your customer. What is the priority and severity of this defect? What is priority and severity? Okay, fine. So priority should be high and your severity also should be high, because, right, see, if you are creating one payment and if it is not showing in the search results, then what is the point of implementing the search functionality? So it is very important for the business and also for the customer also. Just now I created one payment, and when I'm searching, the payment is not appearing. So it is very big issue for you. So even for priority and severity, both are high. And if you want to attach your screenshot, select the cell, go to your insert. So here, right, Excel means, right, inserting that document will be a little difficult, but if you go to the tools, it is very easy to attach your screenshots. So here in Excel, if you want to attach or if you want to insert any object, go to your insert, click on your object, click on your object, then create from file, browse it, I just created, right? Now I will add it, display as icon. If you want to change the icon, change it, otherwise you can use the same icon, that's up to you. Like this. Now it will add here. Now it will add. If you open this, then it will open your screenshot, whatever you attached. This is how you can attach your screenshot. Now status, right now it's a new, so I will say that it's a open status. Date, whatever today date is, date, you can enter your date, and tester, whoever the tester, like. This is the way to log your defect in your bug tracking tool, or even in Excel also. This is the procedure. This is the procedure. Clear? Now let me log one more defect. Let me see whatever the failed test cases, for each test case I will be logging one more defect. Now what is one more defect? So application is allowing from date is greater than to date. Okay, I will log the defect also. Go here. Now second, site close, same search, from date is allowing greater than to date, greater than to date. And today. So what I will is I will be writing that steps to reproduce for this. Open. Okay, log in with this, and see here. Navigate this. Click on advanced. Button. Enter from date as greater than to date. Click on search. Click on search button. See, anyone find any defects from this application in yesterday? Verify the behavior. Anyone find any defects from this application? Expected result. Should not allow, and appropriate error message should display. Actual result. Oh, really? That means I haven't checked. Okay, I'll check. Another actual result. It is allowed. So this is the issue. This is the way to log your defect. This is the way to log your defect. Now this is not the very important thing. So what I will do is I will say that it's a medium. Even for a customer it is low. For me, right? It's not that important. It's not that important. So this is the way to log your defects. Clear? Now only thing is, only thing is if you go to the organization, you may be logging the defects in the tools. So how to log the defects in the tools? Anyway, we will talk about that. I will show you how to log the defects in the tools and all. Anyway, I will talk about that. But here, for the time being, we are learning how to log the defects in your Excel itself. Is it clear or any doubts? This is how you can log your defects in your Excel. Okay. So here we learn that how to create your bug report. So this is also called my bug report. This is also called my bug report. Bug report is nothing but the details of your bugs, the complete information about your defects. That is called your bug report. This is your bug report. Okay. Clear? Fine. Now, so what we discussed, right? If you go back to our software testing life cycle, right? We talked about We talked about the requirement understanding. We talked about the test planning. We talked about the test cases. We talked about the reviews. We discussed about the execution. We discussed about the bug tracking. And the final thing is reporting. Usually this reporting will be done by the leads. That means right now I wanted to send that status reports to my management, like what is happening in the testing and then what is the progress of my testing. For that we will be using some reports. We will be using some reports. With that, we are done with the complete software testing lifecycle. So that will be showing again, right? This report also will vary from your organization to organization. I will show you that. This is called your test summary of your test summary report. This is called your test summary report. As a lead, say for example, if I'm leading the project, then what I will do is I will always try to send this summary reports. Summary reports is nothing but like what I will do is I will talk about that what are all the modules we tested as a testing team. I will talk about that how many test cases we executed in each and every module, how many are passed, how many are failed, and how many defects testing team found. So we will be highlighting everything. For this, right, we will not write stories, or we will not write anything. Usually we will be showing some pictorial representation. I will also show you that. I will also show you that how to prepare the summary reports. Usually when I say that summary report, the summary report is nothing but which contains your what are all the modules you tested, and then what are all the test cases you executed, how many test cases you have written, how many are passed, how many are failed, how many defects you find, and then you can also talk about that how many defects are still in open status, and then how many defects are closed, how many defects are reopened. So all these things you can discuss in your summary report. Usually, right, the summary report means it's a pictorial representation. I will also talk about that, how your report looks like. And then the advantage of your reports is what will happen is you can measure the quality. What is the quality of your application based on these reports? And also you can measure what kind of testing has done by your testing team. What is the coverage they have done in your application? And then what will happen is, right, with this reports, what you can is you can also assess the performance of your team, like how your team worked. Because what will happen is, right, say for example, if you are not getting any defects, that means your developers are good. They are developing a quality application. But if you are finding more defects, that means your testing team is good. They are finding a good number of defects with the available test cases. And if you see, right, see, if you want to create your reports, very simple. Creating the reports actually is very simple. Let me show you that how to create your reports. Say for example, right, in build 1, build 2, build 3. So here I test cases in build 1, test cases in build 1, I executed 100 and I found defects 10. And in build 2 I executed 80 test cases but I found 12 defects. And in the final build I executed 10 test cases, but I 50 test cases, I found 8. So what you can do is you can simply create a matrix for this. Select the data, go to your insert. It is very easy. Go to any of the graph, whichever you want. You want columns, pie, whichever you want. Go to your column, select your matrix. It will get it. That's it. Now you can, if you want to add the data, you can add. Right click, data. See? Now you can share these reports to your management. No need to provide all the document. Just this is enough. This is enough to understand. Now, if I get this report, okay, now what I will do is I can easily understand. So if I get this report, I can easily understand. Okay, in build 1, testing team executed 100 test cases and they found 10 defects. In build 2, they executed 80 test cases, 60 test cases, but they found 12 defects. Okay, and in build 3 they executed 50 test cases and they are finding 8 defects, so that I can easily understand what is happening in the testing world. So no need to go through that entire testing process. If I have these reports, I can easily assess the performance of my team and also assess the application quality as well. Okay, this is how you can prepare your reports as well. Okay, fine. Okay, any doubt? And one more thing, right? Anyone will take that mock interview in the manual testing? Anyone is ready? Just right, I will discuss only that manual testing questions. Anyone is ready? I will ask you like what kind of questions, right, you can expect in the interview, and also it's a kind of like mock interview, and you can feel that it's a real interview, and I will ask that questions how people will ask in the real time. Anyone is ready? Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Fine. So if anyone is ready, then I can take some mock interview in the next session itself, like what is manual testing and then what kind of questions people will ask in that interview. Those things would. No. Anu, right? This is right. Just go through all the sessions and then give that. So what will happen, right? See, if you're unable to give the answers, nothing will happen. Just right. It's a learning. So it's a practice. So that right next time you will feel more comfortable. Okay. Now right, see, this is right all about your manual testing, the process in your manual testing. When it comes to that tools and all, right, tools can be anything. We will use this tools for your test management activities, like your quality center and Jira. Test management activities is nothing but whatever you are doing in the manual testing, everything you can maintain your tools. That is one thing. You can use these tools for your automation testing. That means regression testing. I want to do my regression testing, and I want to do this regression testing every time. So better to have your automation testing. Like you can go with your QTP, Selenium, whatever the tool you want. And then if you are doing your performance testing, you don't have any other option. You have to use your tools only, like load runner, JMeter. So you are having so many tools as well. Okay. Fine. Fine. I wanted to talk about that few more things, few more concepts as well. Okay, fine, Nanu, that's fine. So I wanted to talk about like few more concepts in your testing. Like, see, when you say that, right, what is entry criteria for your testing? That means when you will start your testing. Okay. So when I say that when I will start my testing means first thing what I will do is the answer will be once my application is ready, once the application is released to QA team, then I can start my testing. That is one point. And then you can also say that, okay, once my environment is ready, then I can start testing my application. So if the environment is not ready, where can I test my application? So if the application is given to the testing team, we are ready. And if the environment is ready, that means I'm ready to test the application. And also test cases are completely written and then reviewed, and then test cases are completely written and reviewed. That means I'm ready to start my test activities, test execution, and also my test data should be ready before start of my test case execution. That means if you want to do your test case execution, your test data should be ready. Then only you can start testing your application. So this is your entry criteria. Entry criteria means once the application is released to your QA team, first point. Second point is your environment should be ready. Third point, your test cases should be ready by the time. Fourth point, your test data should be ready by the time. Then only you can start testing your application. And exit criteria. When you will stop your testing? People will ask, can you tell me when you will stop your testing? When you say that exit criteria or when to stop testing, what we will do is, right, I'll say that, see, once I am done with all my test case execution, then I can stop my testing. That is the first point. That means Like, right, I'm having 100 test cases. Once I'm done with all the 100 test cases execution and all the test cases are passed, if all the test cases are passed, that means I'm good. I'm good with my testing. That is the first point. And the second point is, right, and the second point is, like what we will do is we will be stopping this test case execution once all the defects are properly addressed. That means while testing my application, I may be finding like many number of defects. If all the defects are addressed, that means I can stop my testing. That is one thing. That is one more point, right? You can say that, like, right, you can say that once my all the defects are addressed, then I can stop my testing. That is one thing. And one more thing is, right, you can also say that once my timelines are reached, because, right, you will be having the timelines. Once you are reaching the timelines, then what you can do is you can say that I will stop my testing. That is one thing. And one more thing is, right, sometimes there will be some budget is allocated for your test execution. Once we reach that budget, then also we will stop our test activities as well. This is when you will stop your testing, or you can also say that the exit criteria for your testing. So, right, if anyone is saying that what is the exit criteria, or if anyone saying that what is your when to stop testing, answer will be same. And one more thing is a very common question people will ask, what is the difference between verification and validation? What is the difference between your QA versus QC? Like, right, you can hear that like people will say that quality assurance, people will say that quality assurance, and people will say that testing, quality control. So what is the difference? What is the difference between your verification and validation? So when you say that verification and validation, right, both will be done by us only. With both will be done from the QA team only. Now, what is the difference? What is QA? What is testing? What is the difference? When I say that verification is nothing but it's the process. Here, right, we are not doing any testing activities. Here we are not doing any smoke testing. Here we are not doing any function testing. Here we are not doing any what do you call regression testing, retesting. Verification is just a process. Here we are not doing any testing activities. Verification is the process which will confirm that your software is meeting the criteria. What do you mean by that? Right, when you say that verification is the process, like once you are done with all your test cases, right, test cases, then what I will do is I will see all the test cases. Yes, you covered all the test cases. That means, right, my application may have the quality. That means here we are not doing any testing. We are going through all the documents. We are going through all the process, and based on the process, you can say that your software is up to the mark. That means if you are having like 100% test case pass, what do you mean by that? Right? That means as per my process, we are reaching 100% test case pass. That means our product is having the good quality. That is called verification. Verification means here I am not doing any testing activities. This is just a process, and here by using this process we will make sure that our product is having the quality. That is called your verification. And whereas validation is nothing but the actual testing, like your smoke test, function test, whatever the testing you are doing, that is called your actual testing, or you can say that validation. Validation is the actual testing performing on your application. And also if you see here, verification is nothing but is the product right. That means we are not doing any validations here, just based on the process, like we are having like this many number of test cases, like 1,000 test cases, and then we are having that pass percentage, so on. So based on this documentation, we are saying that yes, we are building the product right. But when you say that validation, in the validation means you are actually testing the application and you are checking that whether Okay, so right here, right, when you say that verification, right, verification is nothing but like what we are doing is the product right. We are not doing any actual testing here. We are just, hello? Fine. When you say that validation is nothing but this is the actual testing, you will be performing some testing tags to make sure that your application is correct or not. That is called your verification and validation. Fine. Any doubts? Any doubts here? Now, one more thing I wanted to tell you, right? When you are testing your application, right? When you are testing your application, most of the defects you may be finding during your requirements phase only. That means, right? Once you got your requirements document, you may be going through that requirement documents. During that time, you will be asking n number of questions, and because of that questions, right? So many issues will be fixed. That's why if you see this, right? This is the graph. This is the analysis given by the team, not by me. Okay, so if you see here, right, most of the defects will be finding in your requirements phase. Most of the defects. Okay, and one more thing also is there. Say for example, right, if you're finding your defects during your testing phase, for that, right, fixing analysis costly actually. And say for example, if you're finding some defects in the production, that is even costly. So always finding the defects as early as possible is always good. So if I'm finding the defects today, that's well and good. If you're finding the defects after some time, then fixing it will cost huge. So always it's better to fix your defects as early as possible. Right? So this is your, okay. So this is your manual testing. Okay. Okay. Fine. Can we do this exercise? Let me remove these answers. Can we do this exercise? Let me remove these answers and you can give me the okay, fine. So okay, fine. Right now let's do this exercise. You have to tell me, okay? You tell me the answers. I will just listen. Okay? First question. Okay, first question. What is the correct principle of testing? What is the correct principle of testing? We know that testing is having like some principles. It is having 7 principles. Anyone can tell me what is the correct principle of your testing here?
Test ensures presence of defects.
Perfect. Perfect. So like right here, right, the answer would be, right, we are having some testing principles. If you go back to that sessions, right, we are having some 7 testing principles, right. There we will talk about that testing is context dependent, and then exhaustive testing is not possible. So here, right, if you see this, right, they are saying that testing is context independent. So this is not the option. Exhaustive testing is possible. It is not at all possible. This is also not the right one. Testing shows the presence of defects. Yes. Testing will show you n number of defects in the application. Yes, that's the correct principle of your testing. Agreed. Which is the first phase of your SDLC? Which is the first phase of SDLC? Yes. See,
Analysis.
I'm not hearing anything from other participants. See, I want the answers from everyone. See, this is right. If it is incorrect, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Speak out. See, as a tester, right, how much you are speaking, that is matter. If you're not speaking, so it will be very difficult to survive. I'm telling you, honestly, I'm telling you, if you're not speaking, it is very difficult to survive in testing. Testing means all the time how much you are talking. If you're talking, then you can easily survive. Because testing is what is there, right? Just say good communication, and then you have to say that what is that issue, and then how to communicate that issue to your developer. Okay, fine. So which is the first? Yes, agree. So I agree with that, like, right, first phase of my SDLC is analysis. Agree. Good. Which level of testing defects in the integration of your components? Okay, that means, like, right, when you're having your multiple modules, and then if you're trying to test your application, you may be finding some integration issues, like when you're passing your data from one module to another module, and you may be finding some issues. What kind of testing, what level of testing you will do?
System integration testing?
Correct. So here at system integration testing, what we will do in this integration testing, I want to make sure that the data is flowing between your modules correctly or not. Perfect.
I have one doubt. Actually, in integration testing, there are two types, isn't it? One is system integration, another one is component integration, isn't it? So which one is correct for?
So here, right, component integration testing is nothing but usually what we will do is, right, in this component integration testing, it is a kind of your what do you call that, white box testing, and here you are testing your components. You are testing your components, not the modules, right? So here you are testing your components based on your programming. That means usually, right, that will be done by your developers, not the testers. Okay. For this answer is there. For this answer is there, so there is no point to discuss this. If software application has bugs, the expected and actual results will be different. That's true. Fine. Which attribute of a test log is used to describe the sequence of steps or actions or execute a test log? Which attribute you can use? Sequence of steps.
What test description?
Yes, description only. See here, right, what I will do is I will use my execution description, and in that execution description I will talk about all my steps and all. Okay. Which component of the test case provides a detailed description of every step of execution? Which one? Which component of the test case provides a detailed description of every step of your execution? Is it expected results?
Yes.
How many test cases will you need to achieve complete coverage on a branch? So this is, ignore it. Risk priority helps you determine. Risk priority helps you determine. That means, like, right, risk, like you're testing your application based on the risk. So with this risk, what you will achieve? What will, how it will help? This what do you call this risk and all? Which one?
For regression testing.
Correct. That means here, right, what I will do is, why the risk? Risk is nothing but my important functionalities. If that functionality is not working, that means my application is not there, right? If that functionality is not working, my application is useless. So what will happen is, this risk priority, what it will is, it will help you in doing your regression testing. Regression testing is nothing but in this, right, what we will do is, we will use the test cases that we will execute on each and every build to make sure that our all the existing functionalities are working fine. Before creating a test summary report, you need to ensure that each test case is given a test status such as pass, fail, or blocked. This is a simple one.
True.
Right? Because see, what is test summary report? If you go back, test summary report is nothing but it is the report which will contain the complete testing activities, like how many test cases we created, how many are passed, how many are failed, how many defects we logged, how many are closed, how many are open, all these things. Which testing type you perform to make sure that no new defects are introduced in the new build of the software?
Regression testing.
Yes, regression testing, because I told you regression testing we will use very commonly and n number of times we will do that. Regression testing is nothing but make sure that existing functionality is working fine whenever any new functionality is added to the system. That is fine. White box testing, okay. This is okay. Which test case design technique is used to separate groups of input condition to obtain the same kind of output? What is it?
It's equivalent partition.
Yes, equivalence class partitioning. You remember, right? I was talking about that equivalence class partitioning. In equivalence class partitioning, we will divide the classes equally and test the application. Meaning, right? If you want to test your field with your numeric values, I cannot test with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the numbers. I cannot test it. So here, what will happen is we will divide this numerics into one class. That means if I am able to enter one numeric value, meaning I am able to enter any other numeric value. So here what will happen is you can divide your all the equivalent classes and then start testing the application. What is the importance of your test plan? What is the importance of your test plan?
To prepare the test document.
Test documents, to prepare the test documents, why I need my test plan, right? What is the importance, right?
To define the testing approach.
Yes. See, you remember a test plan is nothing but the definition is test plan is a strategic document in which we will mention how you are going to test the application. What is the approach to test the application? That is called your test plan. Okay. Fine. So this is, yeah. Yeah, tell me please. Tell me. Yeah, tell me, someone is asking something.
No, it's clear now.
Okay, fine. So right now right, I'm done with from my side, like what is manual testing and all. So my plan is next 2 sessions, right? Next 2 sessions only, like, right, I'll be sitting idle and then I will give one topic and then you guys have to talk on that. That means, right, it's a kind of group discussion. This is not like one way, because at the end of the course everyone should be comfortable and you are able to face the interviews and then how to join the organization. That is the idea, basic idea. So what we will do is next like couple of sessions we will take, and then what we will do is we will take one topic and then we will have some group discussion. Right? Let's bring all the points into the table and then we will discuss on that. That's the plan. And make sure that before coming to the sessions you are going through all the whatever the documents we have, whatever the PPT we have, whatever that other documents, whatever that Excels we shared, go through that everything. And also, and one more thing, that is regularization. At the same time, parallelly, every day you have to write your test cases. Don't stop writing the test cases, because test case writing and the bug tracking is the primary responsibility of any tester. Don't stop writing the test cases and don't stop executing your test cases. These 2 things will be parallel to any other activities. Okay. And then probably that next 2 sessions we will plan for this group discussions, and then you tell me, I will write the test cases, or else, right, you tell me what are all the defects, I will log the defects. This is the process. But you should be comfortable in your complete manual testing. That is the idea. Okay.